Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm Bam Margera, and this is Direct a Shitty Movie No One Remembers. And this is Viva La Bam, and this is, welcome back to, and this is Musician and a Filmmaker. God damn it.
Come on, Bam.
I didn't prepare that part of the bit. I was improvising.
Come on, Bam.
That would have been smart. Come on, Bam. You know you gotta think about the whole bit before you commit to it.
Oh my God. I can't believe it's taken us
what are you doing?
48 episodes to get to Haggard.
42, actually.
42 episodes to get to Haggard, the movie about everyone's favorite Harry Potter character.
Yes, played most memorably by Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead in Hot Fuzz.
Played most memorably by Bam Margera in the movie.
I'm sorry. Nick Frost from Cuban Fury is what I meant to say. Nope,
what?
Too deep of a cut for you. There's a movie with Nick Fury and Rashida Jones called Cuban Fury where a fat British guy wants to impress Rashida Jones, so he learns how to do like Cuban salsa dancing.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is Nick Fury not the leader of the Avengers?
Oh, wait, sorry. Nick Frost. Nick Fury. It's Samuel L. Jackson doing Cuban dancing. Yes, we're talking about Haggard, the Bam Margera directorial debut.
Movie, yeah.
Was CKY technically his directorial debut?
Yeah,
Like,
I think this as a quote-unquote feature film, this is the first feature film that has a narrative.
It's a short film's amount of movie stretched out to feature length with montages of skateboarding and
everything that
songs.
is not anything that you can imagine that has nothing to do with the plot of the movie.
Oh yeah, standing
takes
around
up 99%
in
of
your top hat and your goatee and your long raincoat.
If you want to see everything that Bam Margera had in his wardrobe, circa do you know when this movie came out? 2003. 2003. Then check out Haggard the movie, because you'll see Bam Margera in every outfit that he owns, every article of clothing in different combinations that don't make any sense.
Well, that could also apply to Jackass 3D. I mean, that's true. That pervaded. I don't know. It wasn't as bad in the second one. He dressed pretty normally in Jackass 2, number 2.
However, in the Jackass movies, it's more forgivable because there are different stunts happening on different days, and they're not necessarily connected by a linear narrative. You know, so when I'm just saying,
you would never catch me doing a stunt while wearing a scarf. You just wouldn't catch me wearing a scarf. Period.
Well, what if it was cold?
No. That's why I got this. That's why I grew this thing out.
Wrap the beard around your neck as a scarf. It's not a bad idea. How come nobody does that? Like ZZ Top, level beards. How come no one just wraps it around like a scarf? If those people have those beards and are buying scarves, you're wasting their money.
They're cult leaders, so we never see them in public. Like Osho from Wild Wild Country. They're just solitary.
They can control their beard through telekinesis. They use it to grab stuff.
No, Squid Man from Pirates of the Caribbean. What's his name?
Yeah.
Davy Jones?
I was gonna say
not
Cthulhu.
Yeah. That'll be in the next one. They'll bring out Cthulhu.
So how the fuck did we end up here, Greg? I want to point this out, actually, for everyone that watches or listens to this show. I know that everybody will assume that it was me that chose this. And it actually technically was, but it kind of wasn't, because Greg, you paved the path to this fucking atrocity of a movie.
I guess.
Go on. Explain how.
Yeah. So I had already booked the Because the Internet episode, if you want to call it that, because I wanted to, have David on. I don't know. I think we were just trying to think of. Usually we alternate between I don't know. I guess that's how we started, was alternating between who picked what, but now it's just kind of picked at random, honestly. Yeah. It more or less has to do with the timing of certain releases if we have to have some sort of big interview. But I don't know why this popped into my head. I maybe because it feels like an internet video more than a movie. And I've never seen it. This was my first time watching it. I just, for some reason, like, maybe it was because continuing the thread from Christmas on Mars, like the idea of people who aren't filmmakers making a film,
making movies,
and
sure.
like trying and succeeding or trying and failing in the case of Haggard, where the movie just sort of stops. It doesn't really have a real conclusion. It just stops.
No, Bam goes on to become a pro skater.
I think it just because of the anomaly that it is. Well, first I suggested Ming Hags, I think. Because
That's what happened.
I didn't realize that they were related. I didn't remember that Haggard existed. I only remembered, like, I had, for some reason, this, like, snapshot in my head of the IMDb entry for Ming Hags. Probably when I was big into Jackass and was just going through all the weird little side stuff they did. But Haggard, does it have some sort of, like, weird cult reputation, like, amongst Jackass fans? Or, like,
I would say so. I would say
culture?
So, you see, the way I look at Haggard is very much the same way I look at Glenn Danzig, where it's like, there's two opinions that I have that are not mutually exclusive. One is that it's laughable. It's so fucking bad. The other is that I have some degree of fondness for it because it's lightning in a bottle. We talked about this in the Childish Gambino episode. Certain times in people's lives make things a bit more important, and certain moments in just sort of pop culture history also have to be taken into consideration. And I think that Haggard is like the perfect time capsule for a very, very specific person. And that is somebody that's between the ages of like 14 and 16 in the early 2000s, between 2001 and 2003, let's say.
I want to see the mid-90s, like, spiritual sequel about, like, just, like, 5 years later.
Yeah, exactly. It would be awful. Everyone would look back at it with, like, the opposite of rose-colored glasses. But I kind of still am a skateboarder, even though I don't really skateboard. But
you don't want to break a hip.
It's too dangerous. So when I was a teen, I was big into, skateboard culture and a thing that came with skateboard culture in the late 90s to early 2000s was a series of skate videos / home movies that were called CKY. And it introduced us all to a character we've all come to know called Bam Margera. And Bam Margera...
I like that you said come to know and not come to know and love. That's normally how people say that. Someone we've all come to know and love. No, just someone we've all come to know.
We've come to know.
Whether we wanted to or not.
There's people that love him, there's people that are indifferent, and there's people that definitely hate him. So we know him, though. Everyone knows who he is. So he made these CKY movies, and to give him credit, he did step outside of the mold of your average skate video, because skate videos back then, they really did only appeal to skateboarders. And, it's like, I would have like drawers filled with like VHS tapes of just like different skate companies' videos that they would put out. And I would get around, like hang out with my friends, and we'd watch the skate videos before we'd go out skating and stuff, and come back and watch the skate videos. It was awesome. A great time to be alive. But if you had a friend that didn't care about skateboarding, this was like the most boring activity you could possibly imagine, is forcing them in front of a TV and being like, check this out, this guy's going to do this set. And
that's why CKY appealed, right? Because it had sort of the Jackass-style stunts interwoven with the skate.
So this is pre-Jackass that the CKY movies came out, and this was even pre like Big Brother and stuff, before they started kind of making skate videos with stunts and stuff. Yeah, that was the whole idea, was to try and make it appealing to an audience that wasn't exclusively skateboarders. So, credit given where credit is due. Bam did open up a whole sort of new area for people to kind of enjoy these movies that weren't exclusively skateboarders. And these movies featured, the stuff you'd see on Jackass, like people pushing other people in shopping carts into bushes, and people diving into bushes, and lots of
in the
gross out
toilet in a hardware store.
Exactly, lots of shit stuff.
And
naked people.
Yeah. Dicks flapping around.
Yeah, lots of that stuff. And
was there any pee-pee humor? That's probably the most famous Bam Margera Jackass bit to me, is in the third movie when he's got the GoPro and he's just pissing on people, and his dick is just like 40% of the frame.
That is pretty funny. That is memorable. Not quite as memorable as I think is him getting locked in with the snakes. I think that's the unfortunate
I try not to
legacy
remember that. That one traumatized me. I felt bad for him in that one. I'm like, come on.
I think everyone
There's
did.
some
They're
Jackass stunts that are just so mean-spirited that they're not even enjoyable to watch, you know? And that's one of them.
It is. But he's an asshole, and he has, that's kind of Bam's thing, right? I think that, like, his persona, whether or not that was just him or someone that kind of blossomed through these videos, was that he was, America's obnoxious brat. And I think that, like, yeah, we all at the time saw the humor in that. And I think a lot of people, in fact, felt inspired by it. Like, when I was a kid, I remember, like, watching Viva La Bam and Jackass and stuff, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I want
to put a half pipe in my house. What the fuck?
I'm immediately going to start pranking my parents. I literally did pull a prank on my mom. I bought I went to the butcher shop and I got a dead rabbit, and I just, like, while she was sleeping, I just put it under the covers right beside her head while she was sleeping, and I just, like, kind of, like, lightly woke her up. And I filmed it and everything. She woke up.
Okay, I was gonna say,
what's happening?
Like, there's a difference between, like, I'm Jordan Randall and this is Dead Rabbit, or just, like, doing it and then being, like, grounded for months.
Yeah, no, I did it on camera. I mean, she was still pissed off. Like, I didn't get the response. I didn't get the Bam Margera televised response.
You didn't get the April Margera response.
Yeah, I didn't get the April Margera MTV response. I got just a very upset, what is going on? Why is this happening? Oh my God, how could you kind of response, which is the natural response when someone does that. I would have been furious if someone did that to me. And, but yeah,
so
I mean, like,
career in TV did not pan out.
Did not pan out in that way. But when I was making skate videos with my friends, like, we always took, cues from the CKY movies and Jackass and stuff. And we were like, no, we're going to make skate videos also that have us doing stupid stuff and showcase, how fucking crazy we are and how fucking funny we are. And then we're going to, put that out. And of course, like, you look back at that shit now and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't want to show anybody this, I don't want anyone to see this, because this is like cringe to the,
Do you think Ryan ever had that thought about the scene where he's standing naked on the sink in the bathroom and masturbating to his own asshole in the mirror? You think he ever had that fleeting thought, or do you think they were just so fucked up that they never...
I actually don't think he ever... I don't think that any of those guys would have looked back at those scenes with regret. And especially not Ryan Dunn, R.I.P., because he didn't have enough time to really,
That's true.
Look back and be like, holy shit, like so much has changed. Yeah. Exactly. So he was still kind of in his prime of doing the gross out stuff. But, like, what I will say is that I'll bet Ryan Dunn and maybe the people, everyone involved in Haggard, regret having him jerk off but look like he's rubbing a vagina. I don't know why that seems like that. I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This movie is so weird with its nudity. It's bizarre. Like, of course, there's going to be nudity out sometimes, in this franchise, if you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But, like, yeah, it's blurred out during the sex scene, but then there's, like, they'll cut to, like, a dream sequence, and then there's just uncensored boobs, and I'm like, what is this?
What's the line? Exactly.
And like, it's also weird that on IMDb it says it has an R rating. I'm like, do you think they really submitted this to the Motion Picture Association of America if they were just going to put it on a DVD? Like, you don't have to do that. That's the whole point of all these unrated DVDs. Like,
there's no way. It's, I think,
rated R for radical, dude. My Bam's actually not quite there, but
R back then would have probably stood for something else. But the nudity,
I'm sure that appears in this movie somewhere.
I'm sure it does. I think it actually starts off dropping a hard F.
Yeah, it drops the gay gay F slur. Yeah. Yep. It's the first right audible line of dialogue in the film. Like, first of all, if you weren't offended enough by having to listen to him, the band.
Well, hey, wait. I oh man, there's so much we have to unpack. We haven't even told people about the story.
Let's go back to CKY.
Yes.
First of all, the only thing I really know about CKY is that's all I know. So, is that him or is that someone else?
That's CKY. That's CKY. But
so CKY was a band.
CKY
as well
originally
as like a skateboard thing.
So CKY was originally a band. It stood for Camp Kill Yourself. And that band featured...
Do you think Tyler, the Creator, like when he started getting into naming stuff, was like, fuck, they already used that?
Oh, dude, I bet you Tyler, the Creator, fucks with CKY. I bet you that whole crew,
they
were into the
Squad,
skate culture and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the fucking Jasper ended up being a Jackass. So, like, for sure, that was part of their thing.
And Tyler.
I'm sure they were... But have you seen that meme that's like a picture of some like old lady and her name is Bernadette Nair? Bernadette Nair.
It's like one of those boomer memes you'd find on Facebook.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
With the all caps impact font. Black stroke.
So, so CKY was a band. Bam Margera's brother, Jess Margera, was the drummer of that band, still is. And that's how the whole thing started. That's how the whole thing started, was like the band, and then Bam was becoming like a professional skater. And you know, again, credit given where credit is due. Bam was, you know, a pro skater before these movies came out because he was a good skateboarder.
Well, that's what makes Haggard so uniquely his artistic vision, is that like, not only are we going to have these silly scenes, we're also going to have montages of me looking fucking cool. Like, even the chase scene in the movie that utilizes skateboards is interrupted by these like glamour shots of Bam like riding a dumpster or something, like as a rail. It's just like, okay, so I guess the chase itself didn't actually matter because it was just more about showing off the fact that you could skate really fast.
That's exactly what it was.
So that was how he got like in with Jeff Tremaine and
that's how he got in with Jeff
Tremaine.
Tremaine. Jeff Tremaine Jeff Tremaine worked for Big Brother. He saw the CKY movies and he was like, "This is hilarious. We got to do this, but get rid of the skateboarding." And so that's
not entirely.
Big Brother had the blend between both, and then it kind of, as it became marketable with Johnny Knoxville and the rest of the Jackass guys, then the skateboarding kind of took a back seat, but it still had, like, obviously it was still tied to the skating culture, and a lot of those guys were skaters as well, so it was still kind of there. But before we get into this, because it's such a big part of this movie, the band Him is a band from Finland that it created the Heartagram logo, and Bam kind of repurposed
when they were 12 years old?
I mean, who knows when they did it.
You know what would be fucking badass if you like combined a heart and a pentagram to show that we have love in us, but we also fucking love death and the devil.
You know, it probably did go down that way, but it was in Finland, so it probably would have been a lot more like because that's exactly how they sound. Tell me I'm wrong.
That's how Ween also sounded when they came up with Boognish. Only they understood it.
But no, Villavallo and Him are a fantastic band. They don't exist anymore, but Villavallo
it's a better name than
music.
Rain Made It. I'll give them that.
I think both of those names are sick, man. But Villavallo is a cool name, and he's a cool dude, and he made good music, and I stand by that. And I really, really think that this movie, Haggard, does an absolute fucking disservice to that band, because I was actually thinking about you the other day, Greg, when I rewatched this, and I was like, oh, man. I was like, I don't know if Greg's actually listened to any of Him's music, like just independently. So if this is like the first time that you're hearing this, you're going to like associate this fucking movie with those songs, and maybe even to the point that you can't like separate them, where if you heard maybe one of these songs again in the future, you'd be like, oh, fuck, that reminds me of that god-awful montage from Haggard. So I was like, shit. Probably
you're not going to have to worry about that, because what I heard in Haggard did not make me want to listen to it outside of the movie, so don't worry.
Well, I don't know, man. I think I still would suggest that you go and take a little leisurely meander through the musical catalogs of Him, because there's a lot of good stuff.
I will only listen to live recordings when they were performing as her for legal reasons.
Which we'll get into one day on an episode. We have not yet discussed this. We've never discussed this on this cast, and we never will. No, we will one day. We're winding back to this fucking movie. So, Jackass
That's what it should have been called instead of Haggard.
This
should have just been called This Fucking Movie.
Have
you seen this fucking movie?
Honestly,
it's by Bam Margera.
I could take it more seriously if it was actually called that. So we already had the CKY movies come out. We had Jackass was already an established thing.
Jackass the movie had come out.
The movie had come out.
They were
I don't think the second one came out yet
at this point. Yeah,
peak fame. So Bam and Co. decide.
Wait, did this overlap with Viva La Bam, or did Viva La Bam start and then this? Or
I think this came out before Viva La Bam. I think Viva La Bam. I might be wrong, but I think Viva La Bam came out a little after this movie came out.
The first episode of Viva La Bam aired October 2003. So
okay,
yeah, they probably did this. They might have even overlapped. Because reality TV and the way that they staged it probably took a lot longer to film than we would assume.
Sure.
And this very much feels like a movie that they shot when they weren't shooting that show.
Probably. I mean, this movie takes place in a very small, like it's.
We have to put air quotes around movie every time. We say
exactly. It's not a real movie. It's
this
a
video,
montage.
This DVD.
It's Baby's first movie, right? Okay, so Haggard comes out in 2003. Bam and his crew have fame. But this is very much a specific CKY crew movie. It's not got Johnny Knoxville. It's not got Wee Man. It's not got Steve-O and, the other favorites from Jackass. This is CKY crew. It's Bam Margera, Ryan Dunn, Brandon DiCamillo, Rab himself.
It does have my favorite member of the
Raekwon.
Jackass crew, Phil Margera.
Oh, he's your favorite?
He's my... I don't know.
I mean, he's very likable, but
I'm not going to say Don Vito. Like, fuck that. I'm
no.
Phil.
Knowing what we know, definitely. But Phil seems like a great guy. Honestly, he seems like I know a lot about Bam Margera and the family because I was big into skateboarding and I was big into Bam. I have fondness for Bam Margera. I think I truly think he's doing good with where he is right now. We'll see where that's at when this podcast airs.
That's going to age poorly so instantly. I don't hope that. I joke, but no, I really do. I hope.
Let's hope that everything goes good for him. But
God, especially
it is a bit of
fucking everything that went down in like the year Jackass 4 came out.
Yeah, things have not been great for his life. Haggard was the CKY crew at their peak, let's say, but for some reason they wanted to make like a kind of like a rom-com. What would you even call this thing? Like it's like if you boil down the very minimal plot that there is in this movie, it's about Ryan Dunn's character, who they really thought quite hard about the name of this character. They called him Rye, and
they even call him Ryan. They just call him as everyone in this movie has the same name except for Brandon DiCamillo and Bam.
And Bam.
Yeah.
And Bam, I mean, okay, well, let's talk about the names because Bam obviously got really into the band Him, right? So he started a fucking obsession with
it's like a Martin Scorsese Rolling Stones kind of relationship.
It's even more it's even more like parasitic and like Bam took everything.
Sorry, that was like the perfect word to describe it. Anyway,
Bam like took everything from him. Like that, there are still people to this day that think the heartagram is a symbol for Bam Margera,
right?
Because they don't know. And like the CKY movies were just like filled with him music. And, it was funny because, Him was a band from Finland. So their sort of international reach wasn't, the same way that maybe an American band would have been going outwards to Europe. But because of Bam, Him did actually achieve like international success. So I always kind of think in my head, it's really funny because they're probably like, fuck, did it have to be him? As far as I know, they did have a pretty good friendly relationship with each other. So anywho, Bam became obsessed with Villavallo to the point that in this Haggard movie, he's dressing like Villavallo. He's got the exact same jacket that Villavallo would wear at concerts, which is a cool jacket when Villavallo was wearing it, that iconically has in sort of either chalk or some white paint on the back, says your pretty face is going to hell, right, which is a fucking excellent Stooges song. And all these other kind of like little handwritten things. And it looks cool, but like it's one of those things you don't necessarily like imitate because its coolness is in its authenticity. So it's like,
yeah, and it's also like, Bam, Columbine was 4 years ago. You do realize what you look like when you wear that, right?
I don't think he does because throughout the movie, he tries on these various outfits that are never fully committed to one thing. Like he'll wear the gothic jacket, but then he's wearing like, jeans and skate shoes. Or he'll wear like the top hat and then wear like a button up like short sleeve t-shirt. Or he'll wear like a toque and sunglasses.
Oh,
Let me say this.
Sunglasses, you say, huh? Oh, there you go. You know, actually, sorry, just real quick. You know what you look like as soon as you popped back up? You just, Mr. Plinkett is all that popped into my head.
Well, think about Bam.
Well, Haggard is the most disappointing thing since my son.
Haggard is the best movie I've ever seen.
That was actually a really good Plinkett. Holy shit. Wow.
So, or he'll be wearing like sunglasses and a toque indoors at night, you know? It doesn't make any sense. Well,
maybe it's
attire.
because the director of photography just blasts every light at 100% brightness. And there's no diffusion or anything.
Bam saw this as an opportunity to just try out every look he has and just do a little vanity
just advertise
thing,
for the ladies, yeah.
Exactly. But to continue with his obsession with Villavallo, in this movie, not only as he copied Villavallo's personalized jacket and is wearing it around, he named his character Vallo. And honestly, at the time, even when I was young and watching that movie and stuff, I was like, this is lame. This is lame. Like, just do your own thing, dude. Like, you already had your own thing going before you found out about this band, and people like you. Like,
it's like we write a movie where your character's name is A.V. Tear.
Exactly. Yeah. Call me Panda. So there's various montages where Bam tries his best to do.
I counted I think it's like 6 in the entire movie.
That's it?
There's like 6, 3 or 4.
Feels like a lot more than that.
Well, because they last for like 2 to 3 minutes each. That's why it seems like there's more.
So the only people that changed their names from the CKY crew were Bam for Vallo. Brandon DiCamillo went by Falcone, and
can we just call him Deco? Because that was his nickname, right?
Well, Deco, we'll get all into Deco because I know you have a bone to pick with Deco, and I gotta say he's like he in the lore of CKY he's like the fucking crown gem. So dissing Deco is like one of those things where we're gonna have a little bit of a discussion over it. However, we'll save that for a little bit later. I want to talk about names still because one of the first names that we hear here is is Jen Rivel's character's name, is the main woman in this movie.
Glorin.
That Rye is trying to win back, and her name is not Lauren.
No.
Glorin.
Yeah.
It's Glorin, okay? And this comes up all the time. And people say it like that's just some normal name. Glorin.
Is it because they were like, hey Ryan, what should we name the female character? And he's like, what about Lauren? Did you say Glorin? No, but put it down anyway.
That's
as much thought was put into it.
That is actually a very acceptable scenario to land on Glorin, but I'll bet this. I'll bet this, Greg. This is what happened. Oh man, what's a good name for like the girl? It's got to be something that's like kind of like unique and quirky, like a normal name, but then like kind of different. So she's kind of like, she's kind of different. Well, Lauren? Nah, that's normal, but something else. Stick a G in Glorin.
Gloria?
Yeah, I think that's how you're like, that's perfect. Glorin.
This is
it's so hard funny to tell every time they say it.
If what they're doing is intentionally misogynistic or accidentally misogynistic.
It's both.
It's never not.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's 100% both.
Oh, man. The way that they write the women in these movies, in this movie particularly.
Well, this is the thing. It's Baby's first movie because, like, you went to film school. I went to film school. Like, you see people that are trying to make movies, and I've seen this happen before. And I think that's what's a really interesting thing about, like, Haggard is it should be shown at film schools is, like, don't fucking do this, And it's like, I've seen people that do that before. They're like, hey, I saw Clueless one time. I know how to write women. It's like, no, you fucking don't. And so this is what Haggard feels like. It's like, I talked to like one girl one time, so now I can write women, and it's just like everything that's coming out of any female's mouth in this movie, you're just
maybe
God.
That's just what every woman is like in Westchester, PA.
Westchester? It could be, because if Bam is like the gold standard, then maybe it is true that everybody else there is just kind of like a lesser version of him somehow.
You don't want to see the rest of Westchester. If that's the best of Westchester, you don't want to see the rest of God damn, say that 10
that's
times
a tongue
fast.
twister, yeah. the rest of Westchester. So
that'll be what I write in chalk on the back of my trench coat.
Okay, so the plot of this movie is that Rye has broken up with Glorin, and now Glorin is dating some guy named Hellboy, and Rye is pissed off because even though they split up, he's pissed that she might be fucking Hellboy, even though that's what people fucking do when they move on and start dating other people.
No, Ryan's character he has the emotional ability of an 8-year-old, basically.
Yes,
and that's supposed to be funny.
Most of the characters do in
right.
this movie, but so he gets the information that Hellboy has fingered Glorin, and this sets him off because he's like, she says that she got fingered, but I know she got fucked. And this is the inciting incident.
That's the plot of the movie.
This is the plot of the movie.
It's just them getting back at Hellboy. And who even is that
Ryan
guy?
Trying to. So Hellboy is played, and I gotta say, I know we talked about who our favorite actor is in this movie, but honestly, Ray Keon as Hellboy, I mean, he's not got a lot to work with, but I think he does a fucking stellar job, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot of the metalheads in this movie do a great job, actually.
I guess it's all relative, right? When your lead actor is Bam Margera, you can only.
But he's not the lead actor. This is the amazing thing about Haggard is that Bam Margera wrote a movie where he's a sidekick.
He wouldn't be with what the movie is about, but he still is.
He still
because
is.
of all the montages.
It's amazing that the guy who's not even the primary character, his secondary character, takes up 90% of the screen
and he has
time.
Literally no plot or character progression or anything until he meets a girl, and then they have the Room style sex montage where it cuts back and forth.
Yeah,
and it's literally filmed like The Room too, with the soft glow and the candles. And you're like,
I think that they got grease.
This
on
is
the
in
lens,
this
to be honest
movie.
with you.
Can I just say that it's interesting that this movie is what it is because they hired an actual director of photography for this, not an established one, mind you, but someone who was I know cameras, I know lights, I know jibs.
Joe Franz. Let's just, for the people that don't know about Joseph Franz, he was brought into this movie as a DOP, but he worked with them before. It's not like first, they just found him.
Well,
or something.
I'm just saying, as opposed to okay, Ryan, whenever you're over there, I'm going to hold the camera, and then when it's on me, you're going to hold the camera. There was, they spent $500,000 on this movie, so there was
it's
some
shot on,
sort of
it's
production.
shot on film. It's shot on film, even though it doesn't look like it.
I don't know that it is. I think a large portion of it is shot on DV tape.
It's a mix.
And then when they do the time lapses, those are on Super 16.
A lot of the montages are 16 millimeter, but they look digital in the end because of the way that it's edited.
Right. And the compression of the export and all that.
Exactly.
Which I actually watched an HD upscale of this. I'm assuming someone ran it through Topaz. It was literally posted November 13th of 2025 on the Internet Archive. So
wow, it was just waiting for us.
Exactly. It was the only people who would bring attention to that. But yeah, it's the production quality is all over the place because some shots look really good. When they're doing the walk and talk, they're like, wow, they had a steady cam.
Yeah,
this looks like a movie kind of. I mean, it still looks like a shot on video thing, but it's not just handheld faux documentary anyone can do. They put effort into it. And then the car dolly shots, I got to give a lot of credit to. Those actually looked really good. And maybe that's just because of how fast those fucking guys can run. But they're going pretty fast down the street. It doesn't look shitty or cheap like most first films would when they try to do something like that. And they actually use they mounted cameras on cars that they're actually driving. They didn't have a process trailer. I'm not saying that it's well edited because the director and lead star and writer also edited the movie. And you can tell that it was edited by Bam Margera. Because if anyone else edited the movie, none of those skateboard or vanity montages would be in the final product.
No, of course not.
It would just be the footage of Ryan being oh, I'm sad. Because that's what's relevant to the story.
That's the story.
Yeah.
But clearly it was Bam being oh man, this is not gonna be an hour and a half long. What else do I have on the hard drive? And he was just
even if there weren't the montages, the amount of ideas put into this doesn't even justify feature length or even 40 minutes of movie. This is if you cut this down to like the best stuff, it would be like 15 minutes.
Yeah. The best stuff is not. I mean, and that's subjective, but like, yeah,
best
depending on who
relative
you're asking.
for this movie.
The best stuff in this could be even less.
If you were going to submit it to the Criterion Collection, it would just be 0 seconds long. So,
but here's the thing: is like the story. It's about Ryan Dunn trying to get back with Glorin and this Hellboy guy, kind of being like the antagonist, I guess. Valo and Falcone are his friends that are trying to that will help him. And it's funny because, like, Bam's playing a secondary character, but he gets all the screen time. And Bam's friendship with Rye versus Bam's friendship with Falcone actually feels weaker. Like it seems like he's a better friend to Falcone than he is to Rye.
Even though he can't stand him or fucking Rab himself.
Exactly, he can't stand either of them. But here's the thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is where we'll get into Deco, is that Deco, if you watch like the CKY movies, like he has the knack for the comedy skit. Like Bam is the guy who will be obnoxious.
There's a straight up comedy skit in this movie, and I don't agree with what you just said.
Well, whether or not you agree with it, or whether or not you find it funny, that was like, if you were to look at the CKY crew and be like, who here actually knows something about comedy? I think that the finger would point at Deco, because like the other guys are like, oh, we just do this stuff and it's kind of funny to just spaz out and, do a pratfall in public or whatever. Whereas like Deco is constantly toying around with the idea of characters and voices and stuff, not successfully a lot of the time. However, there is a humongous...
not every frame of the movie that he's in.
It depends on who you ask, because there is a huge following.
Jordan, can I just say real quick, we'll get back to Deco, but can I just say that the one time I laughed in this movie was not from a cast member of Jackass. It was from a background extra. And it's the scene when Rye goes to like the cafe and he's like shouting about her getting fingered, and he sees the guy like reaching into his wallet, and then he starts like licking it. That made me laugh. But I was like, funny, that's a shame that's not any of the people that I'm supposedly watching this movie for. It was like that guy, the one offhanded joke that they made up, like, is the thing that made me laugh, and not the stuff that is supposed to, like, I obviously that is supposed to be a joke that makes you laugh, but not in the way that like everything else is.
Well, that I agree with you. Like the stuff that I find personally funny about this is really nothing. It's just like little moments and stuff like that. But that guy that is like licking the wallet and stuff like that, I did find that funny as well. But he comes back later. He's the same guy that's the waiter when Rye and Glorin are when he shows the rhino tattoo. He says, "I'll have a purple ass in my face." And inexplicably, he pulls down his pants and has a purple ass, and he farts in his face. Anywho,
did he fart because it got blended in with the hymn soundtrack that's under every scene? It's another one of those first movie things where they're like, "Oh, it's a new scene. We got to just skip on the playlist on the iPod and then just play the song in its entirety." It doesn't match the tone of what's happening in the scene. They're both happening parallel.
And the mix is so bad, like you can hardly hear the dialogue.
And there's no subtitles on the DVD, so you're fucked if you wanted to actually know what the dialogue is. But it's not like you would enjoy it. But
it's probably best that you don't know. But what I was going to say is that we're talking about Deco, okay? So like,
not
he was
Deacon,
kind of like
from Animal Collective. Yeah. Thank God.
Actually, they are the same person. No, so Deco,
I think you know what made Deacon's acting as the vampire in Oddsack good? He didn't say a goddamn word. And we didn't get to hear his weird,
he could have, and he still would have done a better job.
What accent is Deco doing in this movie? Is that just the way he sounds?
There's no way to know. There's no way to know.
Is he doing an accent?
He's doing an accent, but we don't know what it is.
It's all right. I had a few mixed drinks along the way, so it went fast. I mean, I lost my schedule at the beginning of the semester, and couldn't even find out what my classes were for like a month and a half.
So, anyway, speaking of... this is you queued me up perfectly for this. So...
Welcome back to the Greg Interrupts Jordan show, episode 42.
No, it worked out perfectly because we're talking about Deco, we're talking about accents, we're talking about how Deco achieved like a cult following through the CKY movies as being like the fucking funniest guy on that crew. And that is because, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Greg, but his Chinese rap freestyles. You heard about this?
I don't know if I want to.
So, believe it or not, in the CKY movies, he would call up people and do like prank phone calls on camera, and he would like do a rap. And he would do like many raps where he would just like freestyle stuff and songs that he would freestyle stuff. But there's these Chinese, he does a Chinese accent and does these freestyles, and people fucking love them, dude. And it's insane because I'm going to go out there and say this, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this, but even when I was a kid, I really didn't think they were that funny. And I liked CKY, and I liked
You think
Brandon,
you're going to catch heat for not thinking that a racist Chinese voice is not funny?
Funny enough, I think I will, because I know that the fans of CKY have somehow made it okay or normalized it in their brains.
Guys, I have a hot take. I don't think Ahmed the Dead Terrorist is that funny. I don't think Jeff Dunham is a comedy legend.
I don't know, but I never found it that funny. But Deco has like, I've seen bumper stickers that were like, my other car is Deco's fucking Chinese freestyle. It's, something that's promoting that. It's so fucking niche, but like people love it. Anyway, all that to say that, you don't think he's funny, but a lot of people do. And I personally think that during the movie Haggard, I think the better movie that was in there was Falcone's Quest for Freon. I think that was the story that we should have followed.
We haven't even talked about that.
Because that story to me...
56 minutes into the podcast, we haven't even brought up the main... That's more of a plot than the fucking...
That's more of a plot than the actual
romantic
plot.
comedy stuff, yeah.
Absolutely. and it's like, if you want to make a fucking dumb slapstick fucking comedy movie, that was your movie right there. It was right in front of you.
No, it isn't. That's the YouTube video. That and the skate montages.
None of this is movie worthy. But if you were going to do it, I'm more invested in that story, and I think maybe part of it comes down to knowing who Deco is as well, by watching the CKY movies. But like, because it's very jolting, I think, to see him in this movie because he's playing like 6 different characters and they're all pretty.
He's like
they're pretty rough around the edges.
Yeah, he's like Peter Weller in Dr. Strangelove. He's a real thespian.
He's a real thespian.
He's like
he's got
Eddie
like
Murphy in the Clumps.
Cotton balls as a beard in most of his things, and most of his characters are kind of the same. But I think the Freon thing is pretty funny because it's just so ridiculous. And there's one line that I will say that always makes me chuckle when I watch this movie, and that's when Bam comes down into the basement. And Deco's got
during the one scene where the audio is peaking because the regular boom guy wasn't there that day. I guess
the TV's sideways, and he's like, "Why is the TV sideways?" He's like, "Because I'm laying down on the couch." Like,
oh no, that's that's the other one where he goes down to the basement. There's two different.
There's two.
scenes.
Yeah,
that's how repetitive this movie is. Is that like?
Well, a lot of it is just the same. It's all shot in like this at Bam's house basically, and it's just like every scene is like a repurposed scene or a repurposed set. And then he's like got the TV sideways, and he's like, "What are you doing? Some science? Or are you doing an experiment?" He's like, "Experiment? I prefer wintergreen." And I was like, that is such a stupid fucking line that it always kind of gets me. But there's another part in the movie that
I missed that because there were no subtitles, so I only heard the part where he's like, "Did you take acid?" Yeah.
I think that whole scene is kind of funny because then Rab's also got like just some broken turntable, and he's like scratching the record on it, but there's like nothing coming out of it. They're just watching static on the TV.
Well, the problem is that like any enjoyment I could have gotten from that is ruined by the fact that there were 14 scenes just like it right before that. So it was just all of malaise. Like, oh my God, how much longer is in this movie?
But another scene that I think stands out, and
which
also
makes the abrupt ending
it.
even funnier. That you're like, when is this over? Yeah. And then as soon as it's done, it's like
stops.
Cuts right to credits, like Comic Sans font. Like,
yeah, and then you're kind of like, wait,
that's it.
I kind of expected something more.
I'm not gonna hook up with Glor, and I'm in love with this other girl. Okay, bye. Yeah. Like, that's the movie.
Well, but not even that. Like, it's not even Ryan Dunn at the end. It's fucking Falcone and
oh yeah, they're like on a park bench somewhere, and they're just like, yeah, I guess everything worked out.
Like, what happened to Rye? Well, he's dating this new girl, and he's doing all the same stuff that he did with Glor, and so it's all going to happen again. Oh, okay, cool. But then they just walk away, and the movie ends. The other part that I will say,
the famous screenwriting technique: tell, not show. That's
Yes,
what they tell you
exactly.
to do in film school.
Well, let me tell you what the other funny scene was, for fuck's sakes. So,
Nope.
it's the bit where all the metalheads are like on top of the hill and they're all just like fucking partying. And like, there's just this like quick cuts of them not even really drinking beer. Like, they're more just like taking a sip and then smashing it or pouring it all over the ground.
Right.
And just like amping themselves up and just headbanging and shit. And then it cuts to Bam and Deco like in a bush as they're like looking up at them. And it's like, is this all they fucking do all day? And I was like, that's pretty funny that these guys are just fucking getting their rage on up there.
That's another thing where like that would be funny in a different movie where like every other scene wasn't also like that. Like this movie starts with Ryan Dunn like throwing shit out onto the lawn.
Right.
And it's like
And
you're
and
just
he,
like you're judging. Is that the joke that they do the exact same shit basically? Like they're not that much smarter than these buffoons as the movie portrays them.
I think
as.
it's like the metalheads just are fucking jamming out to metal music, and that's all they care about. And it's like it's destructive, but that's what they
Where are
love.
the heartograms? They don't have them anywhere. How do I know if they're cool?
But you know what? You got to cut to a clip of this because we're talking about that opening, like breaking everything scene.
Right.
Is the very last shot of that is the picture of Glorin that's like obviously a high school like graduation photo or whatever, and it's got that stupid fucking blue backdrop and stuff, and then he hits it with a golf club and it just sort of chips off a bit of the side. You can just tell they were hoping for some dramatic smash, but they're like,
right,
well, we got the photo of so and so from high school. Anywho, the metal scene, I think that scene is pretty good for the comedy that they were going for, because it's like you got
again, everything in this movie is relative.
It's all relative. Raekwon, who plays Hellboy, he's like kind of in there, and then there's like another metalhead, and he's like he sees Deco coming up in his like metal gear.
Yeah, there's several.
Gear.
I guess we haven't even established there are several like sequences in this movie where they're either trying to break into Glorin's. Oh, first they tape poop to her garage door, and then they do the metalhead thing where they break in again. Break into her house and they read her diary, the dildo in the drawer.
And they find the dildo
diary about
accidentally film them having sex.
The blurred sex scene in this unrated DVD.
In this unrated movie that's from people that are known for showing everything.
Yeah.
But then the third thing that happens is they set up Hellboy to get beat up by a record store guy, and they send Falcone to pose as a metalhead to talk about their favorite band, Narkill, who I don't think are mentioned until that scene. And his way of infiltrating the metalheads is to bring a case of beer. And I do find that kind of just funny in itself, where it's like the one metalhead seeing the other guy come up and say, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then Raekwon kind of pushes him aside, chill out, man, he's got beer. And then they come up. And I will say, like, Deco has kind of done this character before in the CKY movies, but I always find it funny when he's just like, "Voo boo ba doo, what you gonna do?" And like the look on Raekwon's face as he's like, "Hey, you heard about the new Narkill album? Voo boo ba doo, what you gonna do?" And then like Raekwon's like, "Yeah, I fucking love Narkill," but he's like trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with this guy. So yeah, I fucking heard their song. Fucking sucks. And also even the scene where he does go to the record store and gets beat up by Jason Ellis. I mean, I feel like that's another thing where Jason Ellis, you know who Jason Ellis is?
No, but can I, while we're on this thread, can I at least articulate something? I think, and one of the notes I wrote down while I was watching it is like, there are sporadic moments where it just goes into a Jackass style stunt in order to make a scene, punctuate a scene or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like when they get into the fight in the coffee shop in the beginning, right? Right. I was like, I actually, based on that much craziness being in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, I'm like, this actually might not be that bad. Like, if this is what the movie is, like going into scenarios, even in like public places where everyone is a hired extra, like that concept of like trying to combine some quasi plot with just like stunt would have been a great movie. But no, the only stunts you really get in the movie is Bam Margera doing kickflips while he's being chased by someone on a bicycle. Like, you're being chased you're being chased while you're on a skateboard. Can you not waste time doing a kickflip? Like, is that the joke, that your character is so like concerned with looking cool while he's on camera?
I don't think there was any thought given to that, because it doesn't make any sense.
Is that the only way he knows how to ride a skateboard? Like, he can't go 5 seconds without doing a kickflip?
Well, imagine not being able to catch someone on a skateboard when you're on a bicycle. I mean, come on, that's insane.
Yeah, no. I know. Like, I'm just that good of a skater, bro. Like, it kind of makes sense when they're on the hill, like the city street, and they're going downhill. Like,
if they're going downhill, maybe, yeah. But if you're
when they're just on that first
pushing
road,
along
you're
like flat ground and going up that thing, and also he goes up that ramp to do the little gap,
right?
But then Hellboy follows him up that ramp. Like, why he just
doesn't.
Go fucking? He does. He goes up the ramp and then he stops right before the little barrier is that Bam does the trick over. So it's like,
okay. Yeah, and then after Bam lands it, because that's more important than the chase that was happening.
Yeah,
then he just crashes into a pile of trash cans.
Yeah,
and that's the end of that scene.
Then he crashes into the trash cans, and then he gets run over by a car.
Not like you could both pay homage to Back to the Future and Jackass by having him crash into a manure truck. No, we can't do that. Just get some metal trash cans. Nope. Get the trash can that Rob himself is living in, and it'll be a prop for the scene.
And then he later uses the sex machine in the invention contest.
Dude, and that sequence too, like the fact that this movie kind of already had its own rhythm going, not a good rhythm particularly, mind you, but at least you understood what the movie was. And then the movie just like stops dead in its tracks and it just becomes a nostalgia critic sketch. And you're like, what is this? Nothing's happening. It's just Deco doing character work, but it's like none of it's funny, and it's shot so fucking poorly. Like,
oh my God.
Where did they even shoot that? Like, it's supposed to be in a high school gymnasium, but all the shots are like close-ups, so it's like you can't even see the location they're in. On. And
everyone's an adult. It's not actually
sitting on bleachers. Like, wait, is that what that was supposed to be? Were they supposed to be school children that he was just like? What?
Well, I think it's so confusing because it starts off with them saying that the contest, this experiment contest or whatever, invention contest, is for kids, and that was like the whole reason why. Yet
everyone in that room is 25 years old.
Everyone is like 25 or older.
Yeah,
like he meets the girl that he ends up hooking up.
Don Vito is there. Don
Vito is a judge.
Margera is in this movie more than he should be in any movie. There's a reason they cut him out of Jackass too, and that's because he was facing charges for like
pedophilia,
groping children.
But
the
Don Vito is like.
So that
do you need to know? I was when I was watching it yesterday. I'm like,
if you're watching this podcast and you don't know who Don Vito Margera is,
you have to have some base level knowledge of like these people.
That's like the only real like inside joke that's in the movie.
Well, Rab himself is literally called Rab himself, and he's got like the shitbox car which says Narkill on it before we're even fucking introduced to that band. There's all sorts of like little like,
it's the only inside joke I understood. How about that?
Well, that's what it is, yeah.
Like, I know who Don Vito is, and I know that Bam thinks he's fucking hilarious, but he's dead, and I'm glad.
I'm not glad that anyone's necessarily dead.
No, I think you can be glad that a pedophile is dead, Jordan. I think that's acceptable.
I mean, it'd be better if he just didn't do it and was alive, I think. But at the end of the day, if that's the only way to stop it, then so be it. But
what do you call 1,000 dead pedophiles at the bottom of the ocean?
I'm also going to not, deny that before that was public knowledge that there was something very funny about watching.
No, I mean, I get why,
blabber through his words and try and say things while he's just constantly pissed off. There's something innately funny about that, but
he's only like they went out of their way to be like, we're gonna put Don Vito in the movie, and we're gonna just tell him to improvise everything he says. We're gonna explain the scene in 5 seconds before we hit action,
and somehow it'll actually work. It's like, no, of course it won't.
It doesn't.
He doesn't know how to do anything at any given moment.
Buffoon. He's an overweight, wall-eyed man, and actually, that's ironic. That speaking of, remember when we talked about the Socrates line on Because the Internet? Right. That's the connecting thread between these two episodes, because he's dressed up like a Greek scholar who have a very infamous secret about what they used to get up to. So maybe it's appropriate. Maybe ironic isn't correct, but I don't know. It's just he's bad. He's bad in this movie. He's bad in real life.
So bad.
And he's in hell.
Bad.
So,
but I mean, there's a lot of bad actors in this. So we talked about Tony Hawk has a guest appearance in this.
We haven't talked about
shockingly,
it. Oh, have we talked about it on this episode yet?
Not on the cast.
Yeah,
we talked about this in real
he's
life.
the best actor in the movie, maybe other than, I was going to say Phil Margera, but that's because he has no dialogue.
Well, Phil Margera is actually awful at acting, even though he has no dialogue, because each time he shows up, he does a little karate move, and he the first time he shows up, he hits a watermelon over Ryan Dunn's head, and then he just goes and does that, and I was just like, oh god. I was like, that's, and Jordan, you can just see
this is
the body language.
What we were talking about with Christmas on Mars. This was the directorial intent. Bam said to his dad, I want you to go up on and smash the watermelon over my head and then do a karate pose. Phil Margera delivered with what the director requested, all right? And by that metric,
that's fair.
He's basically Laurence Olivier.
Yes, I agree fully.
But no, Tony Hawk is, I mean, I don't know if he has any acting chops. He somehow avoided the trend of hey, you're popular with the youth. Do a movie where you play yourself, like Vanilla Ice or something.
Yeah.
He never did that.
No,
he just,
as far as I'm aware,
gave his name to a video game that made a shitload of money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, apparently the video game is what got him into skateboarding.
What?
He used to play the game a lot, and then it got him.
Oh, you're doing a joke. I get it. Skateboarding. Yeah. See, you have all these actual tidbits about skater culture. You throw something at me like that, and then I'm like, Bam got into skateboarding because of Tony Hawk? What are you talking about?
So Tony Hawk plays the role of
a
police officer in what is, I think, the most dramatic scene of the entire film.
Where they smash bottles against a building.
Well, no, it's when Tony Hawk is driving Ryan Dunn to the police station where they're having a heart-to-heart because Tony Hawk also had a bad situation unfold.
He's still married to the woman that he knows cheats on him.
He's going to divorce her soon, I think he says.
Oh, yes, of course.
Soon to be ex-wife is what he says. And they have a heart-to-heart. And I love the idea that, here's Bam Margera, America's fucking obnoxious
America's sweetheart.
And here's Tony Hawk, actual, professional athlete.
Yeah.
Respected professional athlete with very real accolades. And here he is, and Bam's like, so you know what? I want you to be like the cop, and you're gonna be you're gonna have this heart to heart with Ryan Dunn. And he's just like, yeah, sure. And then he fucking pulls up, and he just nails it, And I'm like, what a Tony Hawk move to do.
He should have won a Tony for this movie.
Totally should have won a Tony.
Even though those are for plays, he should have won a play award for being in a DVD.
They should have created a brand new award. They could have called it the Hawk Tua.
The Tony Hawks. The Tony Hawk Tuas.
The Tony Hawk Tua
award. Did you miss the part where I said Tony Hawk 2 under my breath as soon as you started talking about it?
Oh, really?
I did
already miss that.
Made the...
So, well, that means we were on the same wavelength, but just unknowingly.
Don't worry. The audience already saw me subtitle it when I said it, so this is a great payoff, especially with me explaining it in a meta sense. But yeah, the scene where they're in the cop car and they're and Ryan's pouring his heart out. You're looking at him and you're like, I can't tell if given proper direction by someone who isn't your best friend who also knows how to direct a movie professionally, could Ryan Dunn actually be good at acting? There's a
Honestly,
glimmer of
there's a glimmer.
There's something in that scene where you're just
maybe
I can't tell if he's actually taking this seriously. Is he taking this more seriously than Bam is?
I think he is. Honestly, I think he is.
Do you think that now I don't know. Is Johnny Knoxville, was he in anything before Jackass the movie was 2002. This was 2003. Had Johnny Knoxville been in any Hollywood movies by this point? Dukes of Hazzard was 2004, wasn't it?
Well,
or 2005 even.
Before any of these Jackass things came out, he actually was already doing some acting.
Yeah, Men in Black.
He was in Coyote Ugly.
Oh,
very, very brief scene. But he was in Daltrey Calhoun, which is, believe it or not, is produced by Quentin Tarantino, and is actually not a bad.
Well, he did script rewrites uncredited on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Johnny Knoxville, Tarantino.
No, yeah, exactly. God forbid.
I got some ideas.
I'm going to get launched out of a cannon in the third act. But,
also Men in Black 2 was 2002. Mm-hmm. So, yes, he was Hollywood by this point. So, do you think that was Ryan's, man, I'm so jealous that Johnny's like hit it big. Like, I want to be that big. And this was like, he thought that this was like his way in. Like, even if people didn't like the movie, they'd be like, but Ryan Dunn, he's got something. We should put him next to Alicia Silverstone or something.
It could have been there, like in the back of his head. But honestly, like from what my understanding of Ryan Dunn is that I don't think he really like wanted to be a super famous like movie star or anything. I think like he was very content in just doing things that made people laugh.
So do you think it was like, I'm going to do my friend a favor and actually try and act in this movie that we all know is just a silly
I think
thing?
that what it is a combination of group naivety, you know? Like I think that everybody involved just was so inexperienced that they were just a really good tight-knit group of friends that nobody had. It was not even like about having the heart to tell someone that it's a fucking stupid idea. It was like nobody could see it was a bad idea because so far everything that they did actually worked.
Right, the echo chamber.
Yeah, so I think that like altogether, I think Ryan probably would have been like, hey, you know, Bam's been leading the way this whole way and it's been working pretty good. And he seems to think this is a good idea. They probably bounced the ideas off of each other. And were like, this is a great idea. They probably convinced each other it was a great idea for a movie. I mean, that's why it screams baby's first film, because it's like, it's wrought with all the fucking bad decisions that come with an inexperienced filmmaker. I've seen so many of these films in film school. You know, people, they write it like, this movie would have made sense if it was made by two 16-year-olds and they shot it on a mini DV camera and they just played it for like 6 of their friends. But like making a movie like this and actually distributing it like internationally for people to see is insane, because it's not a movie. It's a half-baked idea for a movie with just whatever leftover footage.
That's also what's weird about this in the context of their whole careers, is like, this was their peak fame, and it's like, what about this movie would fans of Jackass find appealing? Other than, isn't it cool that these guys that we know from those stunts try to acting? Like,
it alienates almost every person, no matter which way you look at it, because it's like, if you're a fan of Jackass, you don't get any of the Jackass stunts in this, so that sucks. You're just watching like a lame rom-com that is very poorly executed. If you're a fan of skateboarding, you're not going to get enough skateboarding in this. You're still going to get the shitty rom-com and be put off.
Well, if you're a skateboarder that knows how to use an editing software, you could make a sick 10-minute YouTube video out of just the skateboarding montages, and they just cut out any shots of Bam being like, I'm fucking cool as hell and sexy as fuck.
But
you could
turn
get
on any other skate video that Bam had a part in,
right,
and you already have that. It's
yeah, exactly.
There's absolutely no need for this. So it alienates literally every person. If you're a fan of rom-coms, you're going to come into this and be like, oh, this is a bit of a cute story about this guy trying to get his girl back. But then you're going to be like, what the fuck is all this other shit? Why are they taping shit to a? Why is the guy shitting in a gas tank? Why are there random montages of skateboarding and
I forgot about the shitting in the gas tank, because that was just such a poorly conceived and shot idea that you barely register that it's even happening, because it doesn't have any real consequence. Like that.
No, in whose car?
Jordan,
it's like they pulled up in that car. Is he shitting in his own car?
The film business, a setup. And then typically in a joke, you have a setup and a punchline, not just the setup, and then move on to the next scene. Like, you got more humor out of him. Like, okay, another moment, there was, I will say this, Jordan.
Admit it.
The bar was so low in this movie that Deco made me laugh exactly one time. And that was when he's like, I'm going to climb up on the roof. And not that part, but the part where he actually does try to just climb up on a giant pile of garbage, and he falls over it and it makes a shitload of noise. That initial fall made me laugh. Then they did a Seth MacFarlane style gag where they just dragged it out for another 2 minutes with like the ladder that he's picking up upside down, and it's just like, everything. Stop, it's too much. This isn't a rule of threes type joke. You did one fall that was funny, and now, like, why did he even need to be up on the roof in the first place?
He was going up there to suberate.
Okay, sure. If anyone knows what the fuck that means.
He says, I'm going to go up on the roof to suberate, and then Bam goes, suberate? And then that's the end of that bit of dialogue.
Gee, without the subtitles, I missed the genius writing.
I don't know if that is what is said, but that's what it's always sounded like to me. And I'm like,
well, this movie is also like every line of every scene is at this like hectic, like need to get through it pace that it ruins any sort of like structure that the movie could have, at least in terms of like building tension or having stakes, you know, those things you expect from a movie. And yeah, like you said, it is like the first, like filmmaker's first movie and the aspect that like it's structured so bizarrely that like that's something that should have happened like 40 minutes before it happens, and then there's only 15 minutes left in the movie. So you're just like, I can see what they were going for, but it does not succeed in like 98% of what they accomplish or try to accomplish for this movie. So
absolutely, it's a failure of epic proportions. But that being said, you know, I like I said, the whole Glenn Danzig thing here, it's like I appreciate it because I have such an awareness and had such a nostalgic connection to all the people that were involved in making this movie that I kind of am able to. It's like, you know,
do you think anyone discovered Jackass because of this movie?
Oh no, fucking. I was even thinking about this. I was like, I bet if anybody like was like, hey, you know, Jack, I've heard about it. I heard about this Bam Margera character before, and then their entry point was Haggard. They'd be like, absolutely not. Like, this is so dumb. Like, no way. It is 100% the only people that defend this movie are people like me that grew up watching these movies and became so accustomed to the level of comedy and the mindset of the people in the CKY crew that it's almost akin to your friend making a movie and you being like, well, this is fun to watch every, you know, Christmas or something, but I don't really treat it like a real movie. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to throw on like a Paul Thomas Anderson. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to watch a movie that fucking Frank made, you know, and he tried his best, and the movie kind of sucks, but we watch it every year because it's Frank, and like we know everyone had a great time making the movie, and it's fun because they're just a bunch of friends.
That's gonna be my comedy movie. It's Frank. It's not gonna be related to It's Pat though.
Okay. Well, I want some royalties for that name because I technically just came up with that.
Well, we might owe royalties to Lorne Michaels, so you might want to hold your your lawyer horses there.
All right, fine.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing about like the CKY concept. Like that was a gateway to Jackass because they were so similar. But like, yeah, like kind of like we said, like what is there if you went right from CKY to this? What would appeal about this to you? Like
very little.
And it's like you can excuse the quality of CKY because of what it is. It's not trying to be anything more than what it is. It's a compilation. And it sold like hotcakes and it got them world fame. This is literally a vanity project. Like
the definition of
like
it.
The only difference between this and The Room is that Bam has sleeves on his black shirt. If they were sleeveless, it would be indistinguishable from like a Neil Breen like style vanity. But like,
let me ask you this.
But the difference being that they always make themselves like the coolest, most awesome guys ever. And Bam, there's like half of that, but also the movie tacitly admits that he's a fucking loser. So like they all are essentially like, but that's like the premise. And it's also like, yo, dude, you know what my favorite movie is? It's this movie called Clerks. I think we should totally do it like that.
It always comes back to Clerks.
It does. I mean, it has to, because that is what, like it or not, it is a milestone in the world of independent cinema. Love it or hate it, we wouldn't have Oppenheimer if not for Clerks. I'll say it over and over again. It's the truth of it. If Clerks is the tiny domino, Oppenheimer is the big domino. Because of the following, which I still need to rewatch. Yeah, so Haggard being the like product of these guys, other than just like let's make a home movie, do you think there were any other aspirations for this thing? Do you think they thought people were going to be like, holy shit, these guys are actually like a Good Will Hunting thing, where they're like, oh, they're not just actors, they're also like, they're not just stunt guys, they can also make movies, like real movies.
Yeah, I do believe so. I think that was kind of the intention here, where it was just like, we can do more. Yeah, we we
They
we
didn't
made,
just want to be
I think,
seen as like the like laughing stock or like the butt of the joke of pop culture.
They still maintain it because, like you said, all the characters are losers, and like there's something unlikable and self-deprecating about all these characters.
Yeah, but they're also millionaires playing losers. So when they dress as well as they do, it's like, come on, man! I can't even buy the little bit of like suspension of disbelief I'm trying to engage.
I know, and then like Ryan Dunn's character is constantly, it's like, I'll pay you $100 to ruin Glorin's house.
Well, when he's arguing with Don Vito, he's like, I gotta go to work. I'm like, what job do you have?
What? Nobody's
what do any
explained.
Of these characters do?
Yeah, you live with the fucking Don Vito dressed as Julius Caesar. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They might as well just not be characters. They might as well just be like pastiches of themselves. Like, this is the end style.
Funny thing, though, I
that
should
would have made it better.
Because
even
it would have.
Aside from Rab himself,
something crazy happens.
There's no world in which Rab himself playing either himself, Rab himself, or character is.
Okay, I'm gonna defend Rab himself for a second here, because while I can totally see how fucking irritating of a character that is, and irritating as a guy that he was,
at least he's consistent.
And stuff, he's consistent, and I did get a good laugh. I did get a good laugh out of that scene where they're on the bicycle and he was on the pegs, and like. Rab I think he's just making noises. I was explaining this to my wife the other day. I was explaining because we watched it together.
Is he making fun of Deco with his performance? Like, you think Deco is bad?
Well, Rab would do this stuff like in the CKY movies. Like, he would always go, and so
failed the
like,
audition for Korn.
He had this. Yeah, he'd make these like noises, and they'd go on a search for the cat and search for Kiki. He's still just doing those noises, and I was like, I don't know. It's probably because I grew up with it, but I don't know, something about those noises and I was telling my wife, I was like, the fact that like that scene and the scene where Deco's just going voo boo boo doo, I was like, I guess just weird noises make me laugh, and I guess I'm pretty easy to make laugh.
Yeah,
in that sense,
I can see that in like the sense of like if you go back and watch old Jake and Amir's. When he's like doing the high pitched talking and like the "oh she shell 'twas a dream," like that kind of stuff, like even they look back and cringe at it because of how much it was very of its time, and it does not hold up.
But yeah, that made me laugh upon rewatching it, because I was just like, but the idea too that there's just some guy who's like on the pegs holding your shoulders who's just going like, I'm like, it's so weird, and then the fact that they just like take a turn into the ditch and just fall into, it's like that's another Jackass stunt there, but for absolutely zero reason.
No, it's just we need something funny to happen. Fall over.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna do the random Jackass stunts, make them more consistent and make it more of like Bad Trip, which I know is produced by Jeff Tremaine.
But it's like you said, that's the perfect
concept for like.
Utilize what they can
go
do
into a space and act out the scene and take the reactions of the people around you. That's what makes it engaging to watch. Not just look at these dickheads in this situation they made up. Yeah, Bad Grandpa was
a really good example of that too, because like I think that's a really hilarious movie. And
I have never actually watched it because I was never convinced that I would be able to enjoy that bit from Jackass for an hour and 40 minutes.
You know what? Try it, because like I hate the what's his name?
Irvin something.
Irvin Zestman or something. I hated those scenes from the Jackass movies. They were my least favorite.
Really?
By far.
That's why it works, was because it was like just like little vignettes with him. Like the fuck the pain away scene is the okay, dude. The scene in the second one when his balls are hanging out of the bottom of his like gym shorts. That's great. That's some of the best stuff.
What's the one with the kid? Where they're like he takes his grandson out.
I think that's 3D, and then that was they took funny. That and the one guy's concept like and turned it into Bad Grandpa. Yeah.
So that honestly, for me, it worked better in the context of the movie, because I was like, this whole honestly, I think it's genius.
You think once they figured out that like the hidden camera thing that could carry an entire like movie.
For sure. But they're so creative about the way. Yeah, they're so creative about the way that they did the hidden cameras and that, and like the reactions are amazing. The stunts are hilarious. The kid actually does a great job in it. You know, I really didn't think I'd like him.
Yeah, especially if you're going to do a movie like that, you got to get someone who's like not only can be the part, but is also really good at staying in the moment and improvising if he needs to. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some insane scenarios that they put.
Wouldn't
them
it have
through,
been
and
great
like,
if there was improv in this movie that didn't come from Brandon
There's a lot of improv in this movie.
That didn't come from Deco.
I'll bet some of it from the other characters.
I feel like Ryan Dunn literally...
Ryan Dunn and Bam's might...
Ryan Dunn probably had a lot of, like... Bam was just like, just go for it, dude. Just motor mouth all the way.
Just go for it.
And I will, like... That's also the interesting thing, is it's like, he's surprisingly good at, like, you know... It's a shame that he died when he did, because he would have been the perfect protagonist in a Safdie Brothers movie. Like, Simon Rex Red Rocket style... Where, like, you're like, holy shit, he can act.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You're right.
Could you imagine? Like, if it wasn't written by Bam Margera and was written by, like, an actual filmmaker. That would
that's actually
a shame.
Really funny. Damn. Well, we'll never know now, but...
I'm Ryan Dunn,
yeah, I don't know.
and I guess body slam Josh Safdie on the set. I don't know why all of them have a Southern accent. It's really only just Bam, even though he's from, like, Pennsylvania, and it's just like...
They're all from the same fucking city. They're all from Westchester, Pennsylvania, but Bam's the only one that speaks...
Well, I think I'm also, like, mixing in Johnny Knoxville there. Like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know if there's much more to say about this movie. I think that the takeaway is that...
I have something to say.
Oh, you do? All right.
I killed a baby, did it? No, the scene when they're in the bathtub,
like Danzig effect.
When Vito is in the tub and he's eating the grapes,
the two naked women,
the naked woman that turns her face away for the entire scene.
Her face is never seen.
Yeah. I love that bit of trivia where they're like, she was about to start a teaching job, so she turned her face away.
Could not have her face. Yeah,
which
so funny.
I mean,
everyone should have.
Let me just say that actress, she shines on the screen. Very much the focal point of the shot. It also helps that, like, the way it's so poorly composed as a movie frame that, like, that is literally just the center of the frame. Now maybe maybe it isn't poorly composed. Maybe that was back to the directorial intent I was talking about with this auteur piece of cinema.
This was the vision.
Yeah, maybe this should be on the Criterion Collection, and Bam can pay his rent again.
Well, I like I said, I can see the flaws in this movie because they are glaring. They're glorin', but we
almost did it, Jordan. We almost got through an entire episode without a pun. You son of a bitch.
I got
you can't help yourself.
I got to.
Yeah. It's your Tourette's.
My final thoughts on Haggard, the Harry Potter movie.
Haggard, a Harry Potter story.
It's
just a flashback scene by Bam Margera.
I'm going to cast a Patronus, but it's a giant dick. He's just like...
It's me having sex with a hot chick with huge tits. Bam Margera's Harry Potter.
I don't know if we should talk about this. You can cut this out if you want, but the
Bam Margera Potter. Sorry. I just had to get
Bam
that out.
Margera... that's good. Leave that one in. The woman that plays Glorin in the movie was Bam Margera's... girlfriend, if not wife, at the time of filming this movie.
Well, that explains why she goes from being incredibly comfortable with nudity to not comfortable at all.
But here's another thing that's really funny about that, is that every time that she's making out with somebody, it gets hidden somehow, you know? Like, so she'll make out with, like, Hellboy, it gets hidden by a hair. She'll try and make out with, like, Ryan Dunn, be, like, hidden a little bit. And then there's one montage. You think it's like that scene when she rolls over on top of Hellboy and then they cut? You think as soon as they cut the camera, she was just like, ugh! And just like... Probably. And then Bam was probably like, dude, don't get a fucking hard on. It's my wife. There's one bit where there's like another fucking montage. And I think it's like Ryan Dunn's having like thoughts about Glorin cheating on him.
Which, by the way, the time lapses in the movie are the best looking shots. Like, you can tell that guy in film school, Joseph France, he studied the time lapse and was like, I'm getting my Super 16 and I'm cranking it down and this is going to look fantastic. And honestly, Ron Frick would be proud. Okay. We should put those shots in Koyaanisqatsi too. That's all I'm saying.
It's Baby's first film all over again. Like, the first thing that we all are super impressed with when we get our hands on the camera is doing a fucking time lapse.
Right.
I get it. It's cool. But that's shot on fucking 16 millimeter film, so I cannot imagine how much money they just wasted on getting an arbitrary time lapse. However,
well, keep in mind, it's not like when you shoot a digital time lapse where you just do it in real time and then speed it up later. You literally would like shoot one frame. and then the other rest of the minute you're just sitting there.
But it's still a substantial waste. I mean, the whole thing's a waste of money. But the
only $500,000, okay? It's, in terms of the amount of monetary waste that has been put into Hollywood over the years, especially straight to DVD movies, this is not a big offender, I don't think.
Let me finish my thought.
Sorry.
So the
on this podcast.
Thing I was
That's
say,
not happening.
I never get to finish my thoughts. It's Bam's wife or whatever. So in that montage where Ryan's getting pissed off thinking about Hellboy, there's a flashing sequence of Glorin making out with Bam.
Oh, and I was like, there are some like weird flashes in this movie, but it's not even like. And I was like, it's like, is that a mistake?
Because that's your wife.
Yeah.
You were the only one that was allowed to make out with her on camera.
Even though it doesn't make sense.
So, even though it doesn't make any sense,
imagining that's like
now Ryan's imagining
another Harry Potter connection, like in Deathly Hallows Part 1, when Ron imagines Hermione and Harry together. Like,
I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something.
I'm a huge fan of the Harry Potter books.
Bam Margera Potter. But yeah, I don't know. I think this movie, it's one of those things like if you show it to somebody with zero context, like you're going to probably think it's the worst movie maybe ever made. If you show it to somebody, if somebody who's already familiar with CKY and Jackass and hasn't seen it, like that's kind of weird probably in itself. That's the only audience that should be watching this movie, I think. And if you do have an appreciation for the CKY crew, I think you might still find enjoyment like I did. And I really have to say, my enjoyment level when I watched this movie when I was 16 years old versus my enjoyment level watching it now at the ripe age of 76 years old is pretty different, because that movie was made for like an obnoxious teenage skateboarder and all that stuff kind of was. So it's like, looking at it now, I'm like, this is just really bad,
So bad that your camera doesn't even want to keep showing you talk about it.
That should be where the cast.
I mean, honestly, like
really bad.
That's how the movie ends. I guess what we're getting at here is that this was snubbed at the 2004 Oscars. Lord of the Rings is a piece of shit compared to this, especially Return of the King. This should have gotten everything. But I don't know if you can win an Oscar for something that only was released on DVD. Maybe if you show it
I can't
at a
believe it
movie
didn't even
theater.
win a Razzie. Should have at least had a Razzie.
It wasn't even on their radar. That's how bad it was. This would just, like, if this was made in 2026, it would just go right to Tubi. Hey, everyone, go to Tubi. Check out my movie.
My movie on Tubi. Well, God bless you, Bam.
Yeah.
We hope you get well and stay well. And to everyone else that acted in this movie, it is a stain on your life. But maybe
not Ryan Dunn.
Well,
I think there's a much bigger stain on that one, I think.
Sure. But at the same time, I will go as far as to say that I think Ryan Dunn was probably one of the best Jackass cast members, and I do think he was taken too soon.
And relatively one of the best actors in this movie.
And one of the best actors. So
the bar's so low
that the bar's extremely low. The non-existent bar, really. But that being said, yeah, I think he did have a lot to offer, and it is a shame that he passed away. And yeah, we do wish all these Jackass alumni out there the best, because that's just who we are, Yeah, I don't know. Don't watch this movie. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. It's
what
bad.
You should
it's
do
awful.
is watch SLC Punk 2.
Oh, actually, dude, you know what?
Not even as a joke. You can't even agree with a joke.
Honestly, I just because I had the whole would you rather just go through my entire brain, and actually, I don't think that I could say SLC Punk 2 is better than Haggard, which is so fucked up to say. I actually think that Haggard is more fun to watch than SLC Punk 2. Yeah, you heard that here. Sorry, James Marandino.
So you're saying if there were any ghosts in this movie, you would not have liked it?
I may have liked it more, actually.
Oh, okay.
They could have thrown anything at the wall in Haggard, and I probably would still have the exact same appreciation level.
If there were any ghosts in this movie, we would have seen them, because of how much light they use at nighttime to light the houses that they're shooting outside of. Jesus Christ. I'm like, is that the moon? Is that a street lamp? Like, what even? It's just a giant light on a crane and no other thought was put into it.
Giant light like, facing a
especially
garage
that
door.
one blue-ass scene. I was like...
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Shoot with like white light and then tint it blue in post. It looks like they're standing in front. Like if I switch my like the scene literally looks like this, like that.
That still looks much better.
Well,
but it's actually though
it's like, tilted in a way that it's not getting the rest.
Yeah,
of
literally though, like the color of the walls in your room and that door are the exact same fucking colors as
the white flat white front of the house. Yeah. But that was just Bam's parents, or is Bam's mansion, right? From Viva La Bam, like it's the exact same house.
It's not Castle Bam that was in the Viva La Bam, because I think he got that later. It's like his.
It was the
Westchester.
It was the house he probably bought his parents after Jackass started popping off, and that's where they did like season 1 of Viva La Bam.
It may have even still existed before that. I think like they shot CKY videos in that house. I think it legitimately was just like his parents' house.
I mean, it has to be like some sort of like, it looks like a mansion. Like
it's a big house.
Yeah. So
it's a big house.
Glorin doesn't live in that house.
She probably did at the time if she was.
Or was it Hellboy's house?
It's both, because every every setting.
It's like a talking cat. There's 2 locations. Although it's also like a talking cat in that they shoot several scenes in the woods because it's a different location and it's free.
Yeah. Yeah. We had access to the woods. Let's just walk there, and Bam's wearing a completely different outfit. Let's just talk in the woods.
To wrap up this discussion, let me just ask you a question, Jordan. Do you think this movie was influenced by drugs?
Sadly, no.